Welcome to the VEX Robotics Competition referee training videos designed for both referees and teams. This is Chapter 10, the V5 Control System. The 2018-2019 VEX Robotics Competition season marks an exciting moment in VEX history, as this will be the first time that the new V5 control system will be legal for competition use. The V5 control system features motors that are more powerful and more intelligent than the 393s, programming languages that are more accessible for new users, and an all-new vision sensor that gives teams the opportunity to visually track game objects or field elements for the first time ever in VRC. However, with the new control system comes a few extra things that referees, inspectors, and teams will need to keep in mind. In this video, we will discuss field connections, new motor limits, beta hardware, and vision sensor distractions. First, a word of reassurance to teams or events who have not had a chance to test out V5 hardware. Teams using V5 will connect to the field in the exact same way that they are used to. The V5 controller includes a competition port that is identical to the VEXNet joystick and interfaces with the field controller hardware exactly the same. Event partners will not have to take any additional steps or modifications to prepare their event for V5 teams in this regard. Next, the motor limits. One of the first rules in the VEX Robotics competition was a limit of 10 motors. This limit shifted over the years as new motor and pneumatic actuator technology was introduced. The limit that most people are now familiar with is 10 motors if the robot uses pneumatics and 12 motors if it does not. This year, those limits are still the same for teams that are utilizing the Cortex control system. However, teams using the V5 system will be limited to 6 smart motors if using pneumatics, and 8 smart motors if not using pneumatics. This may seem like a restrictive limit at first, but the additional power that the V5 system offers means that many mechanisms which formerly required 2 or more motors can now be achieved with just 1. Also, note that although the V5 robot brain does support VEX servos and 393 motors via the 3-wire legacy ports, these motors are not legal in VRC if using a V5 system. Speaking of legality, let's take a look at the beta hardware. The V5 launch included an exclusive beta program where some teams and classrooms had the opportunity to test the V5 system early using pre-production components. However, these beta components are also not legal for competition use. Referees and inspectors can easily tell if a component is legal by looking at its color. Beta components are a lighter gray color, and production components are a darker black. Furthermore, most beta hardware includes a beta test stamp. This stamp can be found on robot brains, robot batteries, controllers, and vision sensors. Finally, let's discuss R8G, which states, decorations that visually mimic field elements or could otherwise interfere with an opponent's vision sensor are considered functional and are not permitted. This includes lights, such as the VEX flashlight. The head inspector and head referee will make a final decision on whether a given decoration or mechanism violates this rule. The vision sensor is one of the most exciting new components available to teams who use the V5 control system. However, enforcement of this rule is crucial in order to ensure a fair playing field for these teams. It is impossible to list all of the ways in which this rule could be violated, and it may require some referee judgment or warnings. In general, keep an eye out for robot decorations that could mimic a game element or field element. You should also keep an eye out for suspicious defensive driving against teams that are known to use the vision sensor. If there is ever a question if a decoration is interfering with a vision sensor or not, feel free to give a warning by asking the team to remove their decoration before the match. By definition, if it is non-functional, teams should be able to comply with this request without sacrificing robot ability. Similarly, teams who wish to use non-functional decorations should keep this in mind when designing their robot to avoid accidentally causing a violation. For example, if your team logo is a yellow circle that's the same shade as the turning point balls, you should probably find a creative way to display it that does not distract vision sensors. That's all for Chapter 10, but make sure you check out the other chapters that explore other refereeing topics.